I'm not going to let it go. I'm 100% committed. I'm not going to let it go. I'm 100% committed.
That's New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand voicing her commitment to the UFO investigation. And don't forget that she ran for president and may run again one day. But on August 26th, she held a town hall meeting in Manhattan. And after the meeting, she was approached by longtime UAP researcher Osvaldo Franco with the Disclosure Revolution and asked,
when can we expect a public hearing regarding UFOs and UAPs?
Which led to a minute and a half of pure gold.
I'm supposed to get a report in the next, I think, month or two.
Yes, ma'am.
They briefed our staff, but it wasn't very significant. Not a lot of information. They're building the office right now, and they understand what the mission is. So I met the guy who's in charge of the office.
The office that she's referring to is the recently established All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. And the guy she's talking about that's running that office is Sean Kirkpatrick, who recently served as the chief scientist at the DIA's Missile and Space Intelligence Center.
He understands he's supposed to work in the private sector, and all the people who have all the data and information. He's also asked to go back and look at all of the archival data.
So not only has he been asked to use a wider net to collect more information on UAPs, but he's also been tasked with digging into the history of this subject, all the way back to 1947, which of course is a landmark year in the UFO investigation because of Kenneth Arnold and Roswell. And to accomplish this task, he's going to work with the Government Accountability Office.
He has not been able to get access to it. As you can imagine, it's probably siloed in all sorts of
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And so his job is to try to get access to all of it. And if he can't, I said, just go forward. If you can't get the historic stuff, get what's in the private sector, get the private sector data, like FAA data, correlate it, investigate all the other things that are current, and just create a state-of-the-art office. And he's committed, and they're taking it seriously. They're not going to hide it, because there's so many of us now on the Intel Committee and Armed Services.
And those are both very serious committees full of serious people that have been putting forward a lot of UAP-related proposals. And Gillibrand serves as a member on the Senate Committee on Armed Services, and the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence is headed up by Marco Rubio and Mark Warner, who have both publicly supported the UAP investigation in the past.
That we're going to stand by the service members who documented this stuff. They have video, they have radar, they have heat sensors, they have everything.
Materials.
They have it.
And don't forget that this support also comes in the form of immunity to those that testify. At, I don't know, maybe Senate congressional hearings, which is a possibility due to the proposal put forward back in July by Representatives Gallagher and Gallego. And a lot of the progress that we're seeing today can be directly tied back to her efforts at the end of last year, when she put forward an amendment to the NDAA that had the most robust UAP-related investigation language ever put forward. But she didn't do it alone. She also had the help of Marco Rubio and Ruben Gallego. And I suspect a little bit of help from Chris Mellon, who also voiced his support for her amendment by saying it was a recipe for progress. And Gillibrand herself stated that the time to bury our heads in the sand is behind us. Because like Chris Mellon says, ignorance is not compatible with security. And he even wrote an article about why this bipartisan amendment should be supported by Congress.
I'm not going to let it go. I'm 100% committed.
And Senator Gillibrand, on behalf of this entire community, we'd like to say,
I want to thank you on behalf of so many of my friends and colleagues for your UAP reform support. Also, can I interview you? I'm trying to do a public affairs show about this.
You heard that right. She's going to let Disclosure Revolution interview her, so make sure you give them a follow on Twitter.